Yeah, thank you for inviting me here over, and I'm still hoping you have still a little bit hungry on getting some more insight on what Lilly is doing. The special thing on Lilly is patent losses is something where we have been well trained, which is nothing which we are proud of, but the point is when we had a product which called Prozac, an antidepressant, we have lost the patent in 2001, which is 16 years ago. And at this point of time, it was probably about 20+% of our sales, and you can imagine what a tablet cost is. You can imagine how much of our revenue was gone overnight. But we don't have a single ownership of logistics. So one of the things what we created was a central organization to understand how is our warehousing, who owns it, how much we have it, which operations runs it, what is the model. And this was the foundation of a logistics organization. You can imagine that this is different from a design of a consulting company and a process, but it's a way of how we have been founded. And I think the point of what you see is price pressure. In the days when I have started in Lilly, we had this price pressure as well, but we have solved it in a light different way. We have typically thought about, okay, 5% price pressure, 6% price increase on a product, covered. For sure, the cold chain and the biologics is something which is clearly driving our company a lot. So we're in a range of 60% now on the pharma side, and we have a certain amount of biologics which drives managing cold chain in a very different way. And this is different from way before. So when you be saving a lot of money, you can be very proud. If you have lost a container in ocean into Argentina, no one in Argentina is in charge of. You're getting asked about what have you done wrong in Argentina? And as I'm not in Argentina, I still have to give the answer. So it's in both ways, you know. So it's not only the credit of the good things, it's also to be in charge of the things which you have to take care of. So we have really moved from a project scope, from a advising scope, from a helping scope, into setting the strategy, running the strategic things, running the global initiatives, implementing it, do the cross-netting with supply chain, with IT, and those kind of organizations, and really managing the network instead of really having a dedicated project scope. Of logic, what we're looking into is really the kind of saving a lot of inbound cost by moving it into ocean, have a very smart solution on a 1-2 weeks cross-docking, and then share another nice volume and have a kind of a frequent shipment into the Asian countries. And this can be nicely shared with the shared volume. What we also do is a kind of a tier 1 support. So when it comes to supply chain questions, when it comes to forecasting, demand, replenishment, any kind of customs questions, we're serving kind of a tier 1 support for the affiliates. China 2-bill policy, obviously this is something where we deeply involved, because if we would do nothing, we would have very long lead times, we would have very high transportation costs, we would have extremely bad utilization, and if a truck is utilized by 10-20%, you would very likely have a very bad quality design of it, because when you open this door 3 times and you have only just 1-2 pallets in a truck, this obviously will be getting temperature excursions. So we have the kind of 3 main areas where our objectives are located. Quality, and which also includes the operations. So typically quality is covering the cold chain, and the cold chain in the way of improving the current way of doing it, as well as integrating all the kind of biological processes. Quality also means for sure launches, be in time with the right product, with the right quality. And we have always this kind of slogan in the company saying quality first, which is nothing just as a slogan, which is something which we really have to be in our backbone as well. Security is still one of the things, as I mentioned before, why we have created logistics. And cost, obviously, you know, when we look into a new organization and changes, everyone was talking about how can we be more smart, more efficient, how can we reduce headcounts, how can we streamline, and we came up with that, but I think we have a good idea of creating an organization, which was a little bit different from what the company has talked about us. So when we created this kind of function, there was obviously a clear expectation that by creating the function, by creating an overall logistics overview, you automatically save cost. So we have optimized several distribution. We have started on air to ocean. We've done a couple of global RFPs on freight forwarders, on warehouses. We have looked into logistics networks, on strategies. So there's a couple of things done. We are continuously looking into stability data, how we can improve this, how we can get more data to make sure that we can really broaden. And this is also something which really helps us a little bit then in maybe use a little bit more kind of economic solutions instead of the overestimated price solution. Regulators obviously are not the guys who are really helping us in making it smart, but it's helping us on the other side to make sure that the patient is getting a good product. In the end of the day, what you think about is our company is doing business on insulin, so patients who have diabetes care. And when you would look around you guys, who has taken insulin for diabetes care? There's a huge number. When you think about cancer, and serious amount of different kind of cancers happens, so there's probably also when you think about your family and friends who has suffered from cancer. What we see here, we are running logistics, we are running efficiency, we're running supply chain. In the end of the day, it's not numbers. It's not about things about how you do business most efficient. It's all about to be patient. So it keeps the patient in life, keeps the patient in a way that he can keep longer. And automatically, you can transfer this in logistics, When you measure this nice on time in full, what it says is that there's always product available in our stock to supply the pharmacies, the wholesalers, the patient. Keeping product in supply chain and logistics in the right way, have the patient in your mind, that's something which you should always keep in your mind in terms of logistics, efficiency, continuous improvement, which comes all up about this kind of thing. So it's not only numbers. Okay, that's Eli Lilly and Companies.